This is your third video of lesson 1, A Triumph of Surgery, from your supplementary reader, Footprints Without Feet. Let's read on the story. But I took a firm line. Tricky was very ill, and this was the only way to save him. I took a very firm decision. The vet, he took a very firm decision, a firm call. In fact, I thought it best to take him without delay, and followed by Mrs. Pumphrey's wailing. She started weeping, of course. I marched out to the car, carrying the little dog wrapped in a blanket. The entire staff was roused, and maids rushed in and out, bringing his day bed, his night bed, favorite cushions, toys, and rubber rings, breakfast bowl, lunch bowl, supper bowl. Realizing that my car would never hold all the stuff, I started to drive away because he was driving a small car and they were trying to stuff it with all the belongings of Tricky. As I moved off, Mrs. Pumphrey, with a despairing cry, threw an armful of little coats through the window. I looked in the mirror before I turned the corner of the drive. Everybody was in tears because they were very attached to Tricky. Out on the road, I glanced down at the pathetic little animal gasping at the seat by my side. I patted the head, and Tricky made a brave effort to wag his tail. Dogs usually reciprocate by wagging their tail. When they want to show their affection, they want to show their love, they reciprocate by wagging their tails. Poor old lad, I said. You haven't a kick in you, but I think I know a cure for you. At the surgery, the household dogs surged around me. They all gathered around him. Tricky looked down at the noisy pack with dull eyes when put down, lay motionless on the carpet. The other dogs, after sniffing around him for a few seconds, decided he was an uninteresting object and ignored him. Fine. So dogs also, they are in a habit of sniffing anything, person or another animal which comes very close to them. They will sniff and try to familiarize themselves with that particular person or object or animal. Fine. So when Tricky did not respond, they just left the dog and went away. I made up a bed for him in a warm, loose box next to the one where the other dogs slept. So all the dogs slept in these kinds of makeshift carton boxes and not in the kinds of kennels, which probably dogs of rich people stay. For 2 days, I kept an eye on him, giving him no food but plenty of water. At the end of the second day, he started to show some interest in his surroundings, and on the third day, he began to whimper when he heard the dogs in the yard. When I opened the door, Tricky trotted out and was immediately engulfed by Joe, the greyhound, and his friends. Now Tricky started mingling with the other dogs which were there in the surgery of Mr. Harriet. After rolling him over and thoroughly inspecting him, the dogs moved off the garden. They were playing around with Tricky by rolling him here and there. Tricky followed them, rolling slightly with his surplus fat. Later that day, I was present at feeding time. I watched while Tristan slopped the food into. Tristan is the assistant of Mr. Harriet. He slopped the food into the bowls. There was the usual headlong rush, followed by the sounds of high-speed eating. Every dog knew that if he fell behind the others, he was liable to have some competition for the last part of his meal. So when the food was put inside the bowls of these dogs, they used to gobble it up, very fast, because they knew that if they did not finish their meal first, other dogs would come and start biting into their share of food. When they had finished, Tricky took a walk round the shining bowls, licking casually inside one or two of them. Now he felt like eating something, so he was licking inside the leftover food in the bowls of the other dogs. Next day, an extra bowl was put out for him also. Till now, he was being fed only water. And I was pleased to see him jostling his way towards it. He also tried to make his way towards the bowl. From then on, his progress was rapid, very quick. He had no medical treatment. This is very important. Mr. Harriet did not give any medicinal treatment to this dog. He tried to treat the dog in a very natural and unconventional way by giving it its natural surroundings, fine, something very normal, something which anyone can do, fine. But usually when we have pets, we get so attached to them that we forget all these basic things out of our love for them, and that is why even the most unconventional method of Mr. Harriet proved to be successful in curing Tricky. He had no medicinal treatment, you have to underline this and remember, of any kind, but all day he ran about with the dogs, the kind of exercise which was given to him, joining in their friendly scrimmages. He discovered the joys of being bowled over, tramped on and squashed every few minutes. He became an accepted member of the gang, an unlikely, silky little object among the shaggy crew, fighting like a tiger for his share at meal times and hunting rats in the old hen house at night. He had never had such a time in his life because he was living in the posh environment of his mistress, fine. So that kind of posh environment is very unusual for the dog, fine. He wanted a very natural kind of an environment wherein they can he can run around with other dogs, go and find rats and other small animals which the dogs eat, but that wasn't happening. So when he was left in his natural surroundings with other dogs which were of course more healthier than him, bigger than him, still he enjoyed being there. He was the smallest and the most silkiest because of his the fur of his coat, fine, dog around, but still he enjoyed being with the other dogs in the surgery.